Whoa, the academia sure is busy during the day. But where should...
Traveler, Paimon.
Cyno! It's been so long since we last saw you!
As do you. You don't seem wary at all from your travels. If any. So, what brings you back here?
Oh, nothing in particular. Paimon just... saw a really...
Funnily enough, we were reminiscing about you recently too.
Really? You were thinking...
Indeed.
Oh, darny.
You like that one, huh?
Alright. Here's your 500 Mora. Paimon's never making a bet again. Paimon really thought Cyno would...
Ah, so this was technically my fault. Anyway, I'm actually investigating a case right now.
A case? What?
Nothing major. But after finding out who was involved, I decided on
Need any help? We only came here to hang out, so we've got the time. You may as well take us with you.
Such enthusiasm. Are you worried I'll forget about treating you to some sweets if you're not around to
What? No! Alright, was it really that obvious?
Obvious enough. Still, it's a fine idea. You are the heroes of Sumeru. It makes perfect sense to work together. All right, follow me.
Over here!
Do you see him? The old man?
Oh, is he the one you wanted to...
Correct. His name is Cyrus, a former Spontamod sage. He taught both me and Lisa.
Huh? Cyno's...
It's ridiculous. I'm just an old man who enjoys a
Professor, I've brought some friends.
Ah, Cyno. Now who do we have here? Hold on, let me think. A flying fairy dressed in white? A youth who does not seem to hail from this land? My goodness. You must be the...
Wow, looks...
I've told him about you before. You are my friends. That's right. Let me summarize the situation. A couple of days ago, Professor Cyrus suddenly received a threat letter.
A threat letter?
Exactly. Who sends a threat letter to an old man like me, for goodness sake?
This is the letter in question.
Cyrus, I have uncovered your secret. If you wish to prevent it from going public, leave 10 million... Secondly, don't come looking for me. You'll never find me. But I will always be watching you. Wow, they sure didn't mince their words.
Clearly, this person must be desperate for Mora.
10 million more. What a joke. I'm just a single retiree with nothing to my name beyond the tomatoes in my garden. Where do people think...
There were no witnesses, so currently the letter is all we've got. So, Traveler, Paimon?
Paimon's ready to...
All right, take a look. Very good.
Another thing is, some of these...
Possibly. And I bet the paper has something to do with it.
Most of the paper around here is much smoother than this, and the ink is absorbed quickly so it doesn't run.
It's certainly not the same paper as we use in the academia, but the ink is nothing special. Just regular black ink that gets a blue tinge when applied to paper.
So do we think the culprit has a connection with the academia or not? Wait, check this out. Looks like this part got what? A colored...
Looks like we're thinking along similar lines.
Arav. Ah, there he is.
Mahamatra Cyno. Sir Cyrus. Ah, and the...
As such, I'm inclined to believe that the culprit in this case is a student at the academia. Somebody young and strapped for cash. Oh, one last thing. I'd start your investigation by taking a look at the cafes in the city.
Oh, of course! You think the culprit spilled their...
They do look like coffee stains to me. Also, if I'm not mistaken, the letter is written on a type of scented paper that has aromatics added during the manufacture.
Ah, of course. Yes, like they sell in the gift shops. I remember now.
Understood. I'll assemble a team to investigate the points of interest.
You have my gratitude.
One last thing. Send some Matra to guard the entrances and exits of...
Will do.
Great thinking, Cyno. So, where do we think the culprit's at right now? Yeah, they've probably been lying low at home waiting to see how Cyrus reacts.
You're right, Paimon.
Really?
The culprits approach. Whatever happens, they need this Mora. But just because... And crucially...
Huh? Wait, are you saying...
Found you! You wrote the threat letter!
I don't know what you're talking about. What threat?
I sensed someone was watching us from the shadows the moment we entered the House of Dana. You managed to stay relatively well hidden, for someone reckless enough to There are a lot of people here, but we were looking specifically for Arav. Whoever followed us the whole way was
I was just listening in, that's all. You know something.
You smiled when Arav left.
Is smiling a crime?
There are coffee stains on the letter. You mixed some coffee with water, gently smeared it onto the paper, then wiped it off with a wet cloth. All to create the impression that the letter was written at a cafe. Closing off the exits to the city doesn't affect you, because you already live here. And as long as the Matra were... The cafe was a red herring all...
You can't pin this on me! I haven't done...
Really? Then why are you shaking like a leaf? The innocent have no reason to fear the Matra. But you, your heart's racing, and your eyelids are twitching. You're a terrible liar.
I would never...
Don't try anything or you'll pay the price.
Well, that was over quickly. Cyno already caught the guy.
You're telling me. One minute I go out for a quick smoke, the next minute I see... looked like a young guy, too. Couldn't have been much more than 30. But after what he's done...
Everyone, it's all over.
Gosh, that was so...
The culprit's name is Uraka, a 16-year-old student in the Rataoist Darshan.
Huh?
16? Cyrus thought he...
We checked his records. He's 16, a third-year student.
But he looks so old.
Yeah,
Foolish child. He's too young for the...
We question the culprit regarding his...
Oh, just spit it out. Nothing can surprise me.
Very well. It's our understanding that Araka is a mediocre student. Down on his luck, he went to the tavern for a drink and overheard some people chatting about Sir Cyrus's comfortable retirement. They mentioned...
Some old woman on the street? Goodness gracious. Has that rascal attended a single one of...
Is this going...
Oh, right, yes. So another thing. We don't just argue about tomato plants. And what a...
Maybe it's more the fact that you have the time to grow vegetables in the first place.
Araka mentioned he'd heard a rumor, alleging that Sir Cyrus illegally obtained a large sum of money from the desert before retiring, and kept it for himself instead of reporting it to the Academia. Araka believes this money to be the reason why Sir Cyrus hasn't kept up with any academic research or other projects since his retirement. And given your advanced age, he thought you'd be an easy target to blackmail.
Oh, Araka. I'm at a loss for words. I'm so angry I don't know where to start.
People make up rumors all the time. I am quite
Arav, you'll have to find some excuse to interrogate Araka again later. I need you to deliver a few firm fistfuls to him on my behalf.
I completely understand how you feel, Sir Cyrus, but I'm afraid that course of action goes against the Matra's principles.
Professor, there's no need to be childish about this.
Oh, come on. I was clearly joking.
Okay. Where does this go?
The Academia will determine the appropriate disciplinary action against the student. And as for the individuals spreading rumors about the professor's...
Who said I'm obsessed with some old woman on the street? Mind your wording or you'll start a whole... You seem confused. Oh, don't you understand? Uraka is just a young boy who made a very rash and very stupid decision based on some groundless rumor he heard. Besides, I didn't actually hand over any Mora to... All it cost me is a little reputational damage. That's all.
Please rest assured, Professor, that the Academia will...
Yes, I have no doubt about that. But as a former educator, I'd still like to have a serious conversation with...
Correct.
We looked into the family. Both parents are merchants, and they're often away on business.
Oh, what a mess. You don't have to seal the evidence away yet, do you? I'd like to have that letter back for the time being, if possible. We have to show them how serious this situation is.
The relevant authorities have already reviewed the evidence and are now discussing Araka's punishment.
Oh, so you'll be able to close the case in 2 days?
Give or take. Cases like this are quick...
Very good. Well, thank you for all your help. Perhaps we can...
My apologies, Sir Cyrus, but I have a prior commitment. Enjoy the meal,
Ah, I see. Well, that's a pity. But Cyno, you have to come. You found the culprit at and isn't Tighnari in town at the moment?
Wait, you mean Tighnari?
He is. Tighnari's master, Sir Nephis, called him and Kale to the Academia to help out on a project. Though I must say...
Don't be outrageous. Anyway, hurry up and fetch go on.
Please show me your credentials before borrowing books.
Not to brag, but we never had problems like this at Ratawa Hist back when I was still teaching. And if you don't want to take my word for it, you can ask them. They were students at the time. They'll tell you what it was like, won't they?
I was out in the forest at least 4 days a week back then, thanks to a colossal workload from Master. It wrought havoc on my poor tail, so I didn't exactly keep up to date with what was going on at the Academia. Most of what I know, I heard from Cyno after the fact.
Professor's become a lot more laid back in his retirement.
Wow. It's hard enough to stay true to your principles as an.
It's a pity Kale wasn't around at the time.
And then we'd have one more person who has to address Lisa as upper class woman.
Really? Can't you just call her Lisa? She seems to prefer it when people treat.
Oh, believe me, back when she was a student, nothing made her happier than the younger students acknowledging her seniority.
Whoa, more food? Are you sure about this? We don't want to take advantage.
Oh, don't worry about it. Order whatever you like. And if it's not enough, order some more. After all your help today, treating you to dinner is the least I can do.
I thought I heard some familiar voices. Ah, and Sir Cyrus is here as well.
Oh, Kave, it's been a while. Zahahadi was talking about you last month. How have you been?
I've been all right, thank you. You're looking very well, sir. I'm glad to see it.
Have you eaten yet? Care to join us?
That's awfully kind of you, but I had a late lunch, so I'm not really hungry just yet. I just came to Lombard's to buy some wine, and when I heard some voices I recognized. So what's the occasion, anyway?
Consolation, more like. You wouldn't believe the day I've had.
Sounds like things have really gone downhill since I was there. My whole time as a student, I've never heard of anything remotely like that.
I can't believe how young the guy is. What are his parents going to think?
Young people are always more susceptible to making rash and ill-advised decisions. Their minds are still developing. It's just an unfortunate fact of life. But still, this boy has some nerve. Just look at what he wrote.
Wow, yeah. Jeez.
I will always be watching you and all.
If this were my son...
Luckily, I'm also an.
Kave! Your order's ready, sir!
Coming. I'll have to get going. Have a nice evening, everyone.
Okay, bye-bye!
Here I am. The coffee beans are in.
Yep, it's all there. I'll stop babbling away now. Let's eat before the food gets cold.
Oh, too tasty. Paimon's belly is about to explode.
Oh, mine too. I'll have to walk home.
Thanks for dinner, Sir Cyrus. Master Tainari and I will bring you some homemade herbal tea next time. It'll do wonders for your sleep.
Well, I look forward to that. In fact, could I...
No problem at all.
I'll see you all later.
Good night, Professor. Don't let those tomatoes keep you up too late.
Hey, my tomatoes are serious. Anyway, I'll be leaving now. Don't stay up too late now, children. I bid you all...
Take care. Have a safe trip home.
All right.
What do you mean?
Well, I was talking with Tainari and Kale, and since we all have some free...
Camping? Oh, that sounds fun. Paimon's in. Right? It's been so long.
Everyone, let's meet tomorrow afternoon at the riverbank. No need to bring anything.
You got it.
Great.
Let's head to the southeast of Gandharvaville and meet up with the others. We're here! Wow, you guys are ahead of the game. You set up the tents.
I'd say we're right about on schedule, actually. We were aiming to have them set up before you arrived.
Traveler, Paimon, let's go fishing together. You got it! Dinner's on us tonight! I hope I can contribute too. The other forest watchers gave me some fishing tips a little while ago.
I saw some very appetizing mushrooms in the area, so I get.
Wow, camping with a forest watcher is the way to go! They think of everything!
This is true. I don't think I've ever had a single rough day in this forest.
So? How.
Well,
I see. Oh, in that case, you should try a valberry. I bought.
A valuable suggestion.
All I wanted was to recommend.
Oh, I have a sudden craving for fruit tea. I'm gonna go fetch some stuff. Bye!
She sure made a run for it.
Unbelievable.
So Kale chose the path of tactical retreat. Could it be... My dear friend, you know what I am about to say. Excellent! A kindred spirit. But it looks like we'll get told off if...
We got a bite!
I'll reel it in.
Firewood, spices. There are 3 tents. Which one do you two want to take?
How about the one on the left? Well, Paimon just thinks the ambiance here is a little better.
True. But it's also the closest to the water, if there are any sleepwalking fungi around tonight.
Well, that's no good. Take my weapon. You can use it to bar the entrance.
Anyone would think you were sealing the gates to King Deshret's mausoleum.
Excellent. Then this...
I'm back! How's your appetites? Ready for the barbecue? Always. Oh, it smells so good.
Someone sure is desperate to eat.
Wait, what? Isn't that just for steaks? Hey, if it works for steak, maybe it works for...
Medium well for me.
Okay, these are about ready now then. It'll be a few more minutes for anyone who wants...
Oh, that was so delicious. I ate a lot too.
If you're tired, then go rest.
You must be getting sleepy too, Paimon. What?
Tonight I show you mercy. Our sacred...
Good night. Oh, Paimon one's struggling to keep her eyes open.
Oh, don't forget this. The staff of the Scarlet.
Wait, you were actually being serious about that?
It's a very powerful weapon.
Paimon can't even look.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Paimon's sure. We'll be fine. And even if we...
That reminds me of a parting king. But right now, it's time to rest.
I think they should all be here. Traveler? Paimon? Are you in there? Could you—
Look at this.
What the— What's this sword doing here? Is it—
Evidently.
Huh? Who is it? Paimon's gonna take out the sword. Yeah! I'll hate them, Kave!
Sorry to wake you up at this hour of the night, but we've got a situation on our hands.
Let's get dressed and talk about it outside.
Something has come up. And since it pertains to Cyrus and Cyno, I deemed it essential to inform you all.
Whoa, back up. Let's start from the beginning. Where'd the wine cups go? I could have sworn I left them here after I washed them. Ah, there they are.
I'll have a cup too.
Can you see if the cookies are still on the table?
They are.
Oh, this is so bland. I should have gotten a few
Do tell. What were...
Oh, right, I forgot to mention. So, I ran into Cyrus yesterday evening when I went to the Anyway, they got a bottle of Lombard's new vintage for the You know what it's about, right? 16-year-old kid tried to extort Cyrus. He was
I heard some people talking about it on the streets, yes. Didn't take them long to catch...
I wonder what Sir Nephis and the others will... Oh, Cyrus showed me the give me a sec, I'll sketch it out for you. Okay, done. Take a look. You see what I mean? I don't think I've ever seen writing paper like this around before.
Interesting.
What?
Take this, for instance. Looks like an It bears a striking...
Whose emblem is it?
It's the emblem of the Temple of Silence.
After discussing it, this was a long way to come from the city. Alhaitham figured you were probably... Then, just as...
Hold on, so what?
Something's up, huh? Give me a second.
So you've never heard of the Temple of Silence? Well, these days, you can find a Temple of Silence office in the academia. Theoretically, it's responsible for the custody and disposal of information. At least, that's what they tell the outside world. In truth, it's essentially a vestigial institution nowadays. There's an office with their name on it, but it's functionally obsolete. Historically speaking, The original Temple of Silence is said to have been established by Hermanubis, one of the 7 pillars of King Deshret and the greatest of all sages. Most of the organization's members hailed from the desert. By contrast, none of the Academia Temple's current members are from the desert region.
So the Temple of Silence at the Academia is just a fake?
It's possible. The real question—
So, how do you know all this? Sounds like some
Did you forget? He did a stint as acting Grand Sage, and kept the pay raise even after he resigned.
Oh, yeah! Paimon did totally forget about that. So you took the chance—
If you're asking me whether I familiarized myself with the documentation in my office, I would respond that that's a perfectly normal part of any job.
So much about this doesn't make sense. Why did the emblem of the Temple of Silence appear on a threat letter? The student's only 16, and doesn't have any family—
You said you ran into Cyno, yes?
Yep. He ran off.
Given that Cyrus is involved, he's probably half— Still, we should try to catch up with him.
If the Academia's Temple of Silence really does exist just to cover up the truth, we should pay a visit to the Academia.
Yes. As the Sage of Amorta, my master ought to know the truth about their office. You can ask him to tell you what he knows. The more information we have, the better prepared we'll be for whatever happens there.
If this situation is connected to the real Temple of Silence, the emblem has to be part of a bigger conspiracy.
Kale, could I trouble you to send a message to the Core of 30? Tell them to— Traveler, Paimon, you two come with me. We'll go after Cyno.
Sounds like a plan. Let's go.
Cyrus has been living in the city lately. He rented a place near the field so he can keep an eye on his tomato plants. Here we are. This is the place.
we might be too late. Looks like nobody's home. Oh, Cyno moves fast. If he what?
I know that voice. Is that Tainari I hear?
Ah! Professor Zaha Hadid!
Wow, so it really is you. My goodness, whatever is going on tonight?
We're looking for Cyno. So, he's already been here.
Yes, not long ago, in fact. He knocked on my door and asked if I'd seen Cyrus today at all. I told him the old fool left early this morning, and I hadn't heard him come back. So we went to his place, and would you believe it? He's gone. Goodness knows where to. It must have alarmed Cyno, because he took off in an awful hurry after that. He never did explain what this was all about. How serious is it?
Well, if
Professor, did you—
Why, yeah, I could, after seeing—
Huh?
As a former—
So Cyrus—
Oh, dear. What on earth? Oh, I almost forgot. Cyno left me this letter to pass.
Thank you.
What does it say? My friends, this is a rather complicated—
Yep, that sounds like Cyno. Thank you, Traveler, Paimon. Let's head—
up on him!
You're here? I thought you were going after... Ah, I guess you lost their trail.
We went to Cyrus's house. No one was there. Cyno got there before us, but he was...
He didn't say where he was going?
No, he left us a letter and told us not to go out.
Can't say I'm surprised.
Typical Cyno. Anyway, some updates on progress on our end. I drew the emblem from memory again, but in more detail this time.
I checked some ancient texts for a similar design. The one I found was a little blurry, but the similarities in the general form and certain details were clear enough to confirm a match.
Yeah, and we're lucky we found anything at all. It turns out the emblem was all but lost to history. We scoured the entire Academia collection, and that book was the only one with a record of the motif.
Meanwhile, Arav managed to get Uraka to disclose his. The one who told him about Cyrus's embezzled funds was a young man from the desert.
Apparently, the two met in the tavern over a game of cards. The guy claimed to be in the city for business, as part of a merchant caravan. Uraka was intrigued when he heard what his new acquaintance had to say, and brought up the idea of extorting Cyrus for Mora.
I see. So it could be that this person planted the paper intentionally.
So, how do we find this guy? Did Uraka say where he is?
He doesn't know. He claims not to have seen him since that day in the tavern. The man gave him some tips on how to carry out the extortion.
Nephis and Arav have gone to meet the Core of 30 and review the city's entry and exit records. Also, Nephis admitted that the Temple of Silence in the Academia is just a facade. The true Temple of Silence once came to the rainforest to establish a collaboration with the Academia, but as time went by, the sages gradually became corrupt and foolish. The Temple of Silence felt that they could no longer trust the Academia and ended the partnership. They retreated back. Ever since its inception, the Temple of Silence has been the guardians of King Deshret's civilization and belief system. They traveled at its roots. It was a legitimate and reputable organization whose purpose was to guide people.
The Academia of the day knew that the split would damage...
Not only that, but they managed to keep up the charade for hundreds of years.
So how did Cyrus become acquainted with the true Temple of Silence if they left centuries ago?
I'll bet that's the question that bothered Cyno. Probably why he went after him in such a rush.
Whoever is behind this, getting Uraka to...
He must have recognized it right away.
Since the desert is where the Temple of Silence originated, that is in all likelihood where Cyrus went.
I have to go after him.
Really? Are you sure that's a good idea, with how you respond to the heat? Why don't we send someone else?
I should be fine, as long as I bring plenty of water. Besides, I just can't shake this ominous feeling that if we don't catch up to them soon...
Everyone, I have news from the Core of 30.
Master!
Oh, so that's Nafis, Tainari's master? Oh.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Traveler in Paimon. Several independent eyewitnesses have reported seeing Cyrus and Mahamatra Cyno leaving the city at different times. Both were heading in the direction of Caravan Rebat. I was going to suggest that you join forces with the Core of 30 in this case. However, as I'm sure you... The Academia has made a number of decisions throughout history that I am ashamed to talk about. I won't attempt to make you understand the Academia's perspective.
I understand where you're coming from, Master. But I'm afraid the situation might be more complicated than we thought.
Good point. If Cyrus is involved with the other side, or worse... everyone, we have to get Cyrus and...
Need our help? Whatever you need, we got you covered.
Really? Wonderful. You have my most... Arav and I will continue to follow up on the lead from Uraka. Kaveh, Scribe Al-Haytham, at Tainari. You are planning to go into the desert, correct?
I am. Kaveh, I'll be okay. You stay behind.
Well, if you're sure...
Thank you all. Arav, let's go.
You'd better get moving. Don't forget to ask for help when you need it.
Will do. Let's go, Tainari. Hopefully we can catch up with Cyno before it's too late.
Knowing him, he's probably covered a fair distance already, but we still have a
Surprise!
Okay, we made it to Caravan Ribat. Maybe we should ask the near...
Hold on.
Is that Dia?
You sure you want to brave the desert alone? I mean, it's your choice.
It's not my first time. I'll be...
Cyno!
If you're really going to go through with this, then at least take our advice. When you're packed...
Makes sense.
Thought we might find you here. You're trying to retrace Cyrus's steps, aren't you?
Didn't I tell you not to come after me? I thought I had a good...
Well, sorry, but we never agreed to that. Why would you...
Nothing personal. It's just a complex...
Takes a special kind of... But why so coy today, huh? You only gave us his age and description. Why can't you reveal it? Oh, also, hey guys, it's been a while.
Dia and Candace! So nice to see you. Actually, seeing all of our friends...
You're looking well. Glad to see it. Candace and I came to Caravan Rebot on business. We ran into Cyno as he was asking about some elderly... Some people say they saw him. Guess he stood out as an older guy heading into the desert alone with... That's gotta be one heck of a story.
Cyno, it's okay if you can't tell us anything about the case. We're here to help however you need. The more people we...
No, it's not that simple. If I'm right...
We spoke with Zaha Hadid. From what she said, it's pretty clear that he wants to try and solve this on his own. It won't be easy trying to find him in the desert when he's deliberate.
Sounds like this is far more complex than we...
Still, if he started from Caravan Rebot, the chances are that his route took him past our...
My thanks to you both. Once this is resolved, I will find a way to repay you.
Ah, come on. No need to get all serious.
That's it.
All right.
Yes, we'll hand...
All right.
And don't think...
Don't worry, we'll...
We had a longer talk.
Clearly, we've only scratched the surface of the Temple of Silence question. It doesn't surprise me at all that the one in the Academia is a fake.
Do you have any connection with the Temple of Silence?
I do. I trust due to my unique but my memory of that time is hazy. It's a good thing that Kaveh noticed the emblem on the letter. Without that, I did not recognize that symbol at all. Whether that's...
Yeah, you're right. Thank goodness for Kaveh, and for Alhaitham's diligence during his time as acting Grand Sage.
But Cyrus must have recognized it right away, right? Otherwise, he wouldn't have had any qualms about you reporting it. Oh, maybe his connection to the Temple of Silence goes even deeper than yours.
I suspect so too. Professor has never once mentioned the Temple of Silence in conversation. And whenever the conversation turns to Hermanubis and the concept of spirit indwelling, he avoids going into any depth.
Well, speaking of avoiding things...
I am or rather, I don't see how I could manage to ditch you on...
That's right. Fact is, we're coming with you whether you like it or not, so the best option now is to try to look out for each other. Ha!
Fair enough. Then at least...
Works for me. All right, off we go. Let's start by seeing what the guards here...
Hello.
Mahamatra Cyno?
I'm looking for someone. So I'd like to confirm any recent foot traffic in and out of Aru Village.
A man matching that description passed by our roof.
Where was he going?
Let me think. He took a seat by the entrance of the village for a while and had a brief chat with the person. Do you have a map? I can mark out the direction he was heading and the best routes to any nearby oases.
I have one.
Great. There you go.
Thank you so much.
You've got a really good memory.
Ah, you're quite welcome. Just doing my job. Best of luck. I hope you find him soon.
Hold on. I see some people over there.
Do you think it's safe to ask them?
Should be. I'll go.
No. I'll do it.
Huh? Why can't Cyno go talk to them?
Given my background, appearance, and the way I dress, I might not be the most welcome visitor here. Just...
Ah, hello there. I hope I'm not interrupting. My friend and I are looking for an elderly man who's gone missing around these parts. Any chance I could...
Oh, a missing person, huh? Sure. What do you want to know?
I'm just wondering if you've seen him. Let me give you the details.
So, a silver-haired guy in a long robe, culture type with thoughtful eyes, and he's traveling alone.
He'd stand out like a sore thumb around here.
Yeah, sounds like the kind of guy we'd remember if we saw him.
He's looking behind me.
Uh-oh. That guy's looking our way.
Your friend over there stands out a lot. Hey, aren't you Cyno, the general?
Yes, that's me.
You don't seem surprised that I recognized you.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, you're the one looking for the old man who's gone missing, aren't you?
I have a bad feeling about this guy.
Someone's on edge. You don't trust me much, do you? No need to hide it. I understand why you're wary of us. Still, you came to us asking for help. Do you want it or not?
I thought you were a group of merchants. Seems I was mistaken.
Your henchmen don't look like much, but something tells me they put up a better fight than most mercenaries.
Hey, hear that, guys? You're my henchmen now.
Suits me, as long as I get paid for it.
Just cut to the chase already. I'm running.
All right, come with me. All of you. Don't you want to find your friend? Silver-haired, long robe, culture.
So you know where he...
Just follow me. I'll take you to him.
Surprise!
And here.
What? Where are you looking? There's nothing here!
Please step back.
Whoa! Something's coming out of the ground!
What is this enormous building doing here?
And how was it so well hidden? King Deshret's technology?
Wait, so... Hold on!
Is this the Temple of Silence? So you're a member?
All good questions. They'll be...
This is not what Paimon was expecting to find in the desert, especially not hidden right next to an oasis. Ooh, Paimon's scared. They must have kidnapped Cyrus. Do you think this is the god?
What's wrong? Thinking about your professor?
I just hope for your sake you haven't done anything you might regret.
Me too. Hope I haven't done anything to
Step on us!
Congratulations!
Surprise!
All right, you can wait here for now. I'll inform our leader that you've arrived at the Temple of Silence. Sit tight until he comes to greet you.
So he's just gonna leave us here unattended? Maybe we're not being kidnapped after all.
They can't have been at the oasis by chance. They were waiting for us. Whoever the leader is here, they were obviously counting on us showing up.
So this is the Temple of Silence. After leaving the rainforest, they hid...
Hey, look! That guy's coming back!
Don't worry. Someone will come and call for you soon.
What's your name?
Sorry, guess I was... My name is Sethos. I'll be here if you need me, but I'm not planning on answering all of your questions.
So we're free to explore by ourselves?
Yep. I mean, I'm not worried about you running off. Cyrus is here. And unless I've misunderstood, you're all quite anxious to see him again.
He's right. Well, if we've got some time, we might as well take a look around.
Hey, Sethos!
Sure. Although, I'm assuming by chat, you mean you have questions for me? Not often. The Temple of Silence is a place of quiet and solitude. We don't get too many visitors. What kind of question is that? He's...
Right, but back at the oasis, you can't have known who he was for sure, or you wouldn't have asked him. So, what we're really asking is, have you never seen him in person before?
I've lived in the desert my whole life. Guess you could say I've never had the pleasure.
Ugh, why does time I feel like this guy's not being straight with us.
Come on, we've only just met. If I give you all the answers up front, you'll have nothing left to look forward to. Yes, that was me. Although, Trick did... He insisted that nothing was off the table, even if it broke the law.
So you framed Cyrus for a crime that he did not commit?
No. That's not entirely true. Let me jog your memory. The letter just said that he had uncovered Cyrus's secret. It didn't say what secret that was. Of course, Uraka was a great accomplice, really. Very cooperative with a little bit of wine in him. Did exactly what he was told. Not much of an original thinker, though. It doesn't surprise me that he struggles academically.
Why did Cyrus leave for the desert as soon as he received the letter?
You'll have to ask him that one yourself. Certain things I can't answer for him. I'm neither judging nor defending him. All you need to know is that he recognized our emblem, and it was his own choice to take the bait. Nope, not once.
Really?
I have no need to go there. Not when the taverns are full of the Urakas of this world. Besides, we're well aware of what goes on. Spies? It's not as clandestine as that. The city gates are wide open. Anyone's free to walk in. You can find out all you need to know just by walking around town and hearing the word on the street. Mm-hmm.
I never imagined that the true Temple of Silence would be hidden somewhere like this. We've passed through these parts before, but never noticed anything.
That's King Deshret's technology for you, I guess. It borders on the miraculous. Amazing to think that it's been preserved intact all this time.
We should be wary of our hosts. Still, at this point, we can be confident that the professor is safe and sound, so that's something.
Ah, here he is. Grandfather, the person you wish to see is here.
Well done, Sethos. Greetings, one and all. I am Ba Moon, the current leader of the Temple of Silence.
Professor!
Cyrus, are you okay?
Ah!
Watch what you're doing!
Oh, my apologies. We have no intention of causing you distress. But you must understand, Cyrus is of great importance to us. We had to find a way to bring him back to us. Cyrus owes me his life, and to the Temple of Silence, he owes a debt of gratitude. I let him go a long time ago, but now... I wanted to end my feud with this old bag of bones. Just leave, Cyno.
So that's why you didn't want to report the letter. You'd made up your mind to come here from the beginning. You only left in such a hurry to try and throw us off your...
Some things in life catch up with you, no matter...
Cyno didn't make us do anything. We came here for the same reason he did. To rescue you.
My secrets are secret for good. You're afraid, aren't you? You can't bring yourself to speak of your past. You recognized our emblem because for many years you lived among us.
Indeed, you all but became... You knew as soon as you saw the letter that we, not Uraka, were the ones speaking to you. It threatened you only because you know what you did. For you, Cyrus, are a traitor. You once shared your learning with us, and joined us in our mission to revive the might of Hermanubis. But then, you betrayed us. You bargained for your independence. We both know what I said to you that day. That as the leader, I grant you permission to leave, but that one day, the sands of time will catch up with you. And when that day comes, you must pay the price you owe.
Hermanubis' might?
Does he mean you?
The moon is right. He rescued me from the brink of death once, many years ago in the desert. When he learned... Bamoon proposed that many believe one other child.
For many years, the test subjects were sent into a room that had been prepared. The original plan, as the second stage began, I realized a decision had to be made. Should we implant the But as I was deliberating, both Ba fragments suddenly became... Our two vessels had both displayed great to preserve our faith and our power.
Ultimately,
In recognition of your past contributions, I chose not to send... I have always wanted to see you, Cyno.
I see.
Look, in essence, I borrowed your Ba fragment for a decade or so. And now you are seeking justice. But you cannot lift a finger against Cyno. He is the General Mahamatra. Your actions would be seen as a declaration of war against the Academia.
I'm sure you don't remember anymore, dear Cyno, but you've met us all before. You were so young then, when we all gathered around and celebrated the revival of our Lord. You and he, Sethos, you were our final hope.
You'd like me to return my power?
As a follower of Hermanubis, I have allowed this power to remain in the rainforest for far too long. Now, it is time to reclaim it.
That power is not yours to reclaim.
You are wrong. Cyno was chosen, but he was not the only one.
So those are your terms for freeing the professor?
Despise me all you want. My sins are my own. The Temple of Silence is an innocent party. It is because of my foolishness all those years ago that the Temple's glory has waned, and...
So what you're saying is, the power of one Ba fragment is not enough?
Divine power, cause it...
He is no longer a small child, but...
Both my heart and mind are telling me that what you...
Don't listen to him, Cyno.
I know.
Sorry to interrupt, but in my view, say that Cyno refuses to return his power, and you also refuse to release Cyrus. Then, we are at an impasse. You're trying to gauge where we stand while keeping your remaining...
Wait, those ears... So... We have a descendant of the... Everything we have longed for, Hermanubis will provide. Perhaps this very day, we'll...
Why is he coughing so much? He looks like he's in really bad shape.
Moon, you...
Take our leader back to his room. Grandfather, I know what you wish. I don't like to drag out conversations, so I'll just cut to the chase. Had Cyrus not stopped the experiment all those years ago, the plan would most likely have been a success. The wisdom of Hermanubis would have been ours. Still, it's no use talking about what-ifs. We cannot change the past. I'm not like my grandfather. The Temple of Silence has a grand legacy and a sacred duty to fulfill. So it's somewhat inevitable for the leader to have an inflated sense of self. But I see things a little differently. I don't believe the temple has the same stature that it once did. Time has worn away at its prestige, so I'm not going to force your hand.
And things will only continue to...
If you hadn't betrayed my grandfather...
Tainar, all you and Ba Moon are after is the Ba fragment. Ultimately...
I'm glad to see you're giving it some serious...
I won't forsake my professor.
That works. Oh, my grandfather...
Are you sure about negotiating?
I need to think this through. Everyone, let's meet again.
All right, well, don't put too much pressure.
I've taken some time to reflect on this. He's a stubborn man who tends to double down when he feels strongly about something. We won't get anywhere trying to convince him to escape.
I agree. My master Nephis says the same thing. Once Cyrus makes up his mind about something, he won't listen to reason.
So that's one thing. A few other things come to mind too. You've heard all you need to hear about the Temple of Silence. So on that, I don't have anything to add. My own memories of this place are hazy, though. I do remember having some... I was still young then, and all I could understand was that there was a strong will inside my mind. The power that came to inhabit my spirit was probably one of the cornerstones of their whole faith. So...
You're not gonna give in to their demands, are you? Surely there has to be another...
No. I have no intention of returning it. I need this power to protect Sumeru. But the temple has the right to make the final decision, so I will challenge them head on, and win the right to wield this power for myself. Fair?
This reminds me of something Alhaitham mentioned to me just before we left. He said that the Temple of Silence was originally founded by the ruling elite of the day. Traditionally, such organizations are bound by a strict and ancient Kaveh has made similar observations about the desert tribes from his work trips there. He says many of them have their own internal rules. They talk about the importance of never dishonoring their tribal bonds. I think we could turn that to our advantage. Go back to them with a proposal of...
Wow, and just like that we've...
Looks like we have the same idea. Turn it back on them now while we still can. In terms that they cannot refuse.
Great. And I know just how to start the conversation. Let's go find Sethos.
Over here!
Sorry, pal.
Sethos.
Have you made up your mind?
We'll get to that, but first, I have some degree of...
I have no objections, although we do have our own doctors here.
Well,
follow me. Keep your voices down. We don't want...
Let's talk out. Bamoon has fallen into a deep coma, and he appears to have sustained a serious injury in his youth, which has been exacerbated over the years by the heavy burden of work and now by the effects of old age. Regretfully, I must inform you that, based on what I've seen with patients in a similar condition, he doesn't have long left. A few days at most.
Yeah. I've known for a long time.
You're his heir, aren't you? You clearly have a lot of respect for the man. But you also see things differently. So tell me how we can end this on your terms. Let's find a way to bring...
Yeah, there's no time to waste here.
You know, the two of you are actually in a very similar predicament right now. Both of you have a very...
Right. And you didn't create this situation. They did, but somehow you've ended up having to make the tough decisions.
You're right. We both look at this problem. I accept, Cyno. Legend has it that when Hermanubis first arrived in Tuletula, he sparred with the city's residents. He and his two companions proved their mettle by fighting over several days, winning the support of many fine people. That group of supporters were some of the first members of the Temple of Silence, and the sparring matches were enshrined as one of our founding rights, the right of duels.
Sounds very fitting.
As a fellow vessel of Hermanubis, your ties to the Temple of Silence run deep. So I will permit you to participate in this rite, along with your chosen companions.
3 against 3. Sounds good.
However, I have some additional terms. As the challengers, letting Cyrus leave with one of the...
None needed. If I win, the Temple of Silence... If you win...
It's a deal.
Congratulations!
Well, after how that...
There never was.
You have to win.
Yeah, that's right!
Yeah, when you put it that way.
Exactly!
The Traveler and I...
And neither shall I. The desert was home to an ancient and great civilization that, for a variety of reasons, fell out with the civilization of the rainforest. But there must be personal factors at work here, too. I can't shake the feeling that Bamoon cares for many more things than he lets on. Tomorrow.
Sorry, pal. Alley-oop!
We gather on this day to perform once more the rite of duels, with the greatest of all sages, Lord Hermanubis, as our witness, for his power and authority is present in our midst. This is our most sacred of ceremonies, and no disruption from the audience shall be tolerated. It is incumbent upon all to observe the duel with the utmost respect and reverence throughout the proceedings. representing the Temple of Silence, the Defenders.
Grandfather, you're here.
A rite of duels after...
I know what I'm doing,
Representing the Academia, the...
Ready. We will...
Warriors, we come not to debate what brings our challengers here.
Huh? Are you sure?
I agree. He's very strong.
Okay.
Sure.
We have decided.
So have we.
Duelists of the first bout, please step forward.
Don't forget, safety first! Hey, you there! You better play nice with him or Paimon will make you regret it!
Little bit too much chatter from the audience over there.
A swift end to the first bout. I now invite the... When you're both ready...
Let's begin.
Watch out!
He drank plenty of water before the bout, so he should be fine.
Yeah.
Can't see? I'll uproot you!
Yeah.
Thus ends the second bout. We will now move to the third bout. Duelists, please step...
I'm ready.
So am I.
This is the final stage of the... When you're both ready.
I am Sethos. Vessel, for many years, we have kept our covenant with Lord Hermanubis by guarding the secrets of King Deshret. We earnestly sought Lord... Now, I will fight.
I am Cyno, General Mahamatra of the Academia, student and you. I think you left some things unsaid. This is a sacred duel.
Everyone. Oh, my grandfather is a... But our faith has held us back for too... Times have changed. Then I thought of you. Each Ba fragment I once thought...
I am more than just a...
Exactly.
The name Hermanubis has left its mark. So show me your answer, Cyno. Show me I can be more than... Bring it on!
all you've got? What happened to searching for your answer? Fight's over. Do you yield?
You won.
Well then, looks like you found your answer.
I give his glory to you.
I've seen that light. That is the light of our Lord, the great Hermanubis, priest over all other priests. His spirit dwells within that lightning, and his will lives on. Once a warrior of Tynar, he emerged from the barren desert sands to serve the god king Al-Ahmar. After the death of the god king, Hermanubis gathered his followers and the Tynarian priests and led them to the city of Tule-Tula. There, they founded the Temple of Silence, and from that day forth, we became stewards of all knowledge that survived from King Deshret's civilization. Barely a century passed before war ravaged the desert. One by one, Eremite leaders took up arms against each other in battles that would devour what little remained of their civilization. Only the wise city of Tule-Tula was spared under the guiding hand of the Tynarians. But peace did not last. Coveting the knowledge of King Deshret, the beasts set their eyes on Tule-Tula. The king of Gurabad laid siege to the city and ordered the sages to surrender to him the Temple of Silence as proof of his victory. The ruling elite colluded with their oppressors, betraying the temple so as to hold on to their rule over the city. They declared that the knowledge guarded by the temple was the true cause of corruption. These were dark days, and we faced enemies on all sides. Our Lord had long since exhausted his strength, keeping the forbidden knowledge introduced by King Deshret at bay. To ensure the temple's continued survival, he broke his being into many pieces and began the ceremony of Hermanubis' legacy, bestowing his power upon his mortal followers. With this power, the temple was able to defeat the tyrant's army. Yet, we were not hailed as heroes. Strange and unfamiliar as this power was, it struck fear into the people's hearts and drove them to reject us. In the end, the people of the temple and the Tule-Tula Tynarians left the city for good and made their way to the rainforest. What followed next was inevitable. The elite of Tule Tula fell and were decimated. War engulfed the desert. And we wandered from place to place, always in hiding, all the while keeping close watch over our secrets and staying true to our mission. Betrayal forced us out of the desert and into the forest. Then mistrust drove us from the forest into the desert once more. We have lived in exile for far, far too long. Yet, today, the Temple of Silence has borne witness to the glory of Hermanubis once more. Thank you.
How is it? Do you feel...
Grandfather.
Hey, Sethos.
I know.
I guess you were prepared for this.
Yeah. He's been on death's door for a very long time now. I think at least he was able to...
What's next for...
Per my grandfather's last wishes, the Temple of Silence should submit to whoever possesses the largest number of Hermanubis fragments.
But that's never going to... I did foresee this possibility, and I gave it some thought. Sethos. Were it not for this duel, or indeed if you had other intentions... I do.
Still, I didn't think Bamoon looked very...
Well, in any... Sethos. I would like you to...
But... doesn't that render everything that...
No, it doesn't. That's a much bigger deal than you might think, Sethos. You said yourself, times have changed.
I will try.
Actually, part of me wonders whether that way, no matter who won, one of us would have to surrender our Ba fragment. Had you won, the Temple of and were I to win, he knew that the Temple's future would depend not just on... His plan meant that whoever ended up succeeding him...
And here I thought the General Mahamatra wouldn't care for all these trivial details. You're absolutely right. Grandfather and I can thank you for everything, Cyno. The Temple of Silence has a wealth of information on King Deshret's civilization, more than any other organization in existence today. But you must be exceedingly careful with your selection of candidates, lest you lead humanity to repeat the same mistakes. By the way, Tighnari, my grandfather was so happy to see you. You are a descendant of... The story goes that King Deshret chose the sage Hermanubis from among the Tighnari. He went on to fight many valiant battles with his Tighnarian companions. The Tighnarians who left Tule Tula joined their human counterparts in the rainforest. A few centuries later, when some of the group... In all likelihood, those were your ancestors.
How fascinating. My father once mentioned that I was named after the Tighnarians, but I never knew that my forebear...
I like this story.
By the way, has anyone seen Cyrus?
Yes. Cyrus. You'll probably find him in my grandfather's room. He wouldn't show it in front of me, but I think he still has many fond memories of my grandfather.
If it's true that you and your grandfather really planned for everything to turn out this way, then I...
Who knows?
Someone's got to make the decision. I will make a detailed report on all of this to lesser... I'm sure you'll have lots to attend to in the days ahead. If we're going to work together...
I will. All right.
See you soon. Come hang out with us anytime.
What were you thinking gallivanting off into the desert alone at your age? What if you take the bucket, You told not a soul what you were up to.
Oh, please, will you stop your yelling?
What do you mean, what other choice? Do you mean to tell me that after all your years of learning, and sagehood no less, the only idea a one-man suicide mission, That's the best idea that one of the finest minds of a generation could come up with, is it? It astounds me.
All right, all right. Honestly, the way you're going off on me, it's like you wish you'd been there to lend him a hand. Does it mean nothing to you that I'm your...
I've got nothing more to say. What's the point of berating an old bag of bones?
What do you mean, bag of bones? I'm a flesh-and-blood hero who, despite his old age, saved our General Mahamat. Okay, look. Fine, I admit it, I was in the wrong. How can I make it up to you?
1 month? Try 3.
Inari's master is really laying into Cyrus.
Professor brought this on himself. Don't...
Wow, I haven't seen Master get this. The last time he chewed someone out like this must have been back when I was still a student.
I think I'll go around and update everyone. Tell them the situation's resolved. We can go for dinner afterwards. My treat.
Makes sense. I'm in.
Paimon's coming too!
Hey, Kale.
You're back! Well, look who we have here. Would you mind explaining to me what has been going on this past few days? I heard you all ran off into the desert and got embroiled in a major catastrophe.
All taken care of.
That does not answer my question. How could you be so careless? That goes for you as well. Yes, and you too. When you run into problems, you really ought to ask for help, you know? I've been around the block. Don't you think it would have made sense to involve me? And let's not forget, I know the
Now would not be a good time to attempt to argue.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. It's not the first time that I've had to talk to you about this sort of thing either. You need to learn that there are times when the right thing to do is get a more experienced member of staff involved. Do I make myself clear? Because if you don't,
Kale, please do something.
He's giving me the signal. All right, guess it's time. Say, Madame Farazan, I can see you're pretty upset.
But, I was just wondering, remember that time you offered to give me a tour of the academia? Does that offer still stand?
Huh? Wait, did I hear that right? Kale, you remember? Wonderful. Well, of course the offer still stands. Come on. Madame Farozan will show you around the old classrooms.
Poor Kale getting dragged off like that. Also, check out Farozan acting like some sort of official academia tour guide.
Kale! Cup.
Huh? What? Oh, right!
What do you mean, cup? You need a cup.
Oh, it's nothing. Just Master's way of reminding me to stay hydrated while I'm out and about.
It's code for let's reconvene at the cafe. Tainari and I used it while we were in school.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. 2 people left. Let's bring them along, too.
Sorry, pal. Alley-oop!
Am I hallucinating? Or do I see Kaveh and Alhaitham engaged in...
We're just reorganizing all the books we used. Look, there's a whole mountain of them.
There's no rush. Nobody reads these books anyway.
My sincere thanks to you both.
Yes, with your help, we resolved the issue rather swiftly and painlessly. And the outcome was better than we could have hoped for.
I see. The Temple of Silence resorted to rather unique means of self-preservation. It explains how they managed to remain hidden for so many years.
And it sounds like they managed to preserve a whole load of ancient documents as well. I'd love to go check those out if I ever had the chance.
That day will come. The Temple of Silence is a hugely important organization, and we'll be sure... future. Now, as a token of my appreciation...
Yeah, sounds great. Although after the last few days, I don't know if I can handle another coffee.
Sure.
Congratulations! Alley-oop! Sorry, pal.
And then the Traveler just pounced on their opponent and knocked him right out cold. Then there was Tainari. He put up an amazing fight too. We ended up winning all 3 bouts.
Whoa! Part of me wishes I'd been there to see it, but I'd have been biting my nails off worrying about you guys.
A truly edifying account of the events. Bereft of detail, but it has livened up the room all the same.
Hey, Paimon included all the juicy details. The Traveler just pounced and then waved their sword like this, then spun around and blocked.
Despite winning 3 bouts in a row, you still ceded the position of leader to him. That's very dignified of you, Cyno.
Of course. Being dignified comes with being a true champion.
I got to be a champion too for once. I've not sparred much with desert folk before. It was a pretty unique experience.
Yeah! Huge place! It felt like something right out of an epic poem! Imagine this. It was like there was...
Maybe save that one for later, Paimon. Dessert.
I think that'll do me for today.
Shall we stop off at the House of Dana again before heading home? We should probably finish putting all those books.
My thoughts exactly. See you around.
I should get going as well. See you all later.
I need to go say thanks to the Core 30 for their help. Also, Sir Nephis says he wanted to introduce me to some of the Academia's work process.
Kali's come a long way. She's...
Everyone's a work in progress. You never...
Yeah, true.
That was good. It feels like everything's finally... Life is all about these moments when you can finally relax and hang out with good friends after a job well done.
Do you 3 have anything planned? If not, would you come somewhere with me? That's a secret for now.
Okay. I think I can guess what you're talking about.
Well, now Paimon's curious.
Been a while since I last made my way. Need any help?
That's a nice spot, isn't it?
What a great view! We're so high up!
Traveler. Turn around. This is my secret base. When I was a student, I used to slip away and climb up here all the time. Just back then, I had a lot of the same questions that Sethos was asking. Our gifts help us to find our rightful place in the world. That was my experience.
You two really are like brothers.
I feel the same way. Of course. I see no need to be humble when it comes to the
I still remember one time when we came up here to chat and do our homework. Cyno accidentally dropped a fruit. Luckily, he has fast reflexes, so he...
That was the one and only time. Nothing will ever slip through my fingers.
Those were good times.
You know, Paimon really shouldn't be able to imagine Cyno doing something like that, but for some...
Then make it stop. It's You guys carry on with...
Okay.
Huh? Hey, you're not supposed to jump...
Futile!
Oh, my days.
Professor, what are you muttering to yourself about?
Cyno. Ha! Just the man I'm looking for. Guess what I found in some old notebook?
Some old photos?
Can you believe it? This notebook was just sitting in a pile of odds and ends in the Sages. I was at the Academia earlier to discuss my workload with Nephis. I swung by the old office. Oh, time flies. Look how tiny you are in this picture.
You look quite young yourself in that one. Ah, it's this one. I remember that. Lisa took it, didn't she?
Yep. Looks like her work, all right.
And this one. Looks like we're both dope.
Oh, cheeky girl. Taking secret photos of...
Is there something you'd like to say to me, Professor?
Like what? Like, these are good photos, aren't they? Hey, at moments like this, I hardly know where to begin. I can't pretend I'm a good person. But Moon had every reason to despise me. Well, so do you if you feel the same way.
Don't be ridiculous, you old codger.
Is that not what you wanted me to say? Oh, I've dreamt of that place many times after leaving the desert. Sometimes I've dreamed that I was doing research with him again. Oh, it was one of the happiest times of my life. We all learned so much from one another. You've matured so much over the years, Cyno.
Since you're my professor, I should save you some face by not calling you out on all the non-answers you just gave. So, I will do the right thing and keep my mouth shut.
Good thinking. Take your own advice next time. Seriously, why bully an old man like me? I thought heroes were supposed to be gracious. Hey, wait, how did I not notice this one earlier?
Lisa strikes...
Look how cute you were when you were...
Yeah, and look how...
Oh, I can't compete.
Don't...
Hey, what would you say to meeting...
I'd like that. Let's find a time and pay her a visit in Mondstadt.
All right, I'll add it to my schedule. Wait, no. Next week is the tomato growing competition. I have got to beat Zaha.
Or you could find a real hobby. Great view today. This atmosphere calls for a joke out of left field. Great view today. This atmosphere...
Time has passed too quick, but it turns out grown-up kids are no youth. Oh,